That's actually what I wanted to ask you. Just one more question, then we'll wrap it up. So the Pinterest trends, they just released the 2024 trends.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Do they tend to be accurate or?
So they're based on numbers.
Yeah.
And yes, they have a 80% accuracy rate typically. Out of what they predict, 80% will come true.
And do you find that true?
Yes and no. I think they tend to be like a lot of them are up and coming. I
Yeah.
feel like they want something to differentiate and to make themselves be a little bit more quirky and cutting edge. I don't. I think the superpower for most people using Pinterest for driving traffic is actually in evergreen
Yeah.
content, but also seasonal content that trends. That's where we see a lot of growth and website power. So things that are more flash in the pan are cool, but just from along by default to sustainability and things that,
Yeah.
yes, is it nice to benefit from something that's going viral? But I wouldn't place a huge amount of effort in it. I think if your content and your products or services align with it, like there's been really cool mental health initiatives,
Yeah.
there's been some re envisioning of ideas, and that could be quite empowering to align something you already talk about with this idea. For example, I saw in the fall, or pardon me, in the winter, they did this self care and journaling. And so, like, my approach to that as a business owner was like, what does my journaling look like as an entrepreneur? Or what does my self care look like as an entrepreneur? So,
Yeah.
am I going to tap into the premise as is? Probably not, but you can do some nice adjustments in terms of thinking about content that you could create. But the Pinterest predicts tends to be a little bit wacky, but I do see in some niches or
Jellyfish?
industries.
Anyone?
Yeah, or metals or bows.
Actually, the metals I was looking at because it was weird because I was looking at my branding just to see if I was where I want it to be. And I was thinking I would want to do like liquid silver
Yes, that's a
metal
great
and like
idea.
letters and stuff. And I was just like, "Ooh, I'm on trend." And
Yeah,
it's
it
just
aligns
instant,
really
right?
nicely.
And
Yeah.
and also like I use hot pink and I was just like, "Is hot pink so out because Barbie is gone?" And they've got this whole tropical thing and I'm like, "Ooh, hot pink is still in because of the tropics." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Well, and
yes."
it is this. I think it's don't put too much stock in it, but it's like cool to look at because if it aligns, great. But if it doesn't, if you're like, oh, none of my stuff is like hot this year, don't worry about it. That's what I think.
And this actually is an example of one because I found one, it was actually into relationships and it was the hot seat question. And I'm like, that
Oh,
is a good podcast thing. So here we
yeah.
have the very first honor of being a hot seat question.
Yeah, but there you go, where you can align yourself like business hot seats.
Right.
So you can align what you are very good at and what you talk about with something that is picking up momentum on Pinterest. That is like
Yeah.
the perfect
And
content
it had like
approach.
it was like an increase of 800%. And I'm like, whoa,
Mm,
that one I'm going to use. So
that's it,
there you
right?
go.
I love it. I love that. I
So
love
I've
that. It
been
just,
totally paying attention to everything you're talking about.
yeah, very, you're very observant.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.